Good morning, students. Welcome to online lecture series of distributed computing system. Last lecture, we have studied the introduction to inter-process communication. Then, what are the different socket primitives, and again, different characteristics of this inter-process communication. These topics we have already covered. Right. So today we will see. So, what is this external data representation? What is this marshalling? And what is this multicast communication? So these three topics we'll cover today. So generally, what is this external data representation? So the decided data format for the representation of data structure. During the process of inter-process communication is external data representation. And what is this marshalling? Marshalling is collecting the group of data and arranging them in suitable data format for the data transmission in the form of message during the inter-process communication is nothing but the marshalling. Generally, the data contained within a message is just a sequence of bytes, whereas the data contained by the executing programs can be indicated as the data structure. The way of communication do not matters always the case of external data representation, but the way we represent the data or information is important. The message passing mechanism is basically followed and used for communication and coordination amongst the process in a distributed system scenario. The data structure used for the information representation and must be compressed and should be represented as a sequence of bytes. The information transferred during the inter-process communication can be of different data types like integer, character, float. Right? Several alternatives are defined of a data representation with respect to data types. So you can say in case of integer data type, the data can be represented in two ways, namely the big Indian order and little Indian order. So these two alternate methods defined in basis of ordering of integers in input data. In a big Indian order, the most significant bytes are shown first, whereas in little Indian order, the most significant bytes are signified in last. Okay? So in order to exchange the data in the form of binary values, two computer systems use one of the following scheme. So before the transmission of data, the data values are first of all converted into a decided data format, and then it is forwarded to the targeted destination. In second method, sender computer system use to transfer data in own format, and then after receipt of data, the destination computer system may convert the data in its required format if it is essential. Generally, whatever we say is marshalling, right? We know the marshalling. So what is this unmarshalling is there, right? So at the destination side, process of dividing the received data and arranging same in actual form is known as a unmarshalling. Unmarshalling is done to get the corresponding data items at the destination side. So following are some the substitutes for the external data representation and marshalling. That is Corbach's CDR, or you can say that is a Corbach's common data representation, that is CDR. Second one is Java's object serialization. Third one is extensible markup language, that is XML. So here we will see one by one. So substitute external data representation and marshalling. So here first is Corbach's CDR. So that is Corbach's common data representation. Is a type of external data representation defined with a Corbach 2.0. Here middleware layer is responsible for provision of marshalling and unmarshalling facility in CDR. In CDR, original data types are organized in a binary form, or you can say original data is marshaled in a binary form. All the data types can be represented with the help of CDR in Corba 2.0. Example data types are float, that is 32-bit, double 64-bit, boolean either true or false, long 32-bit, unsigned, long, short 16-bit. Right? So CDR states the big Indian ordering as well as a little Indian ordering representation. Right? In second, there is Java object serialization. Right? So this middleware is responsible for the provision of marshalling and unmarshalling facility. So here original data types are organized into a binary form, right, in Java object serialization. Again, in this type, information is in a serial form. In Java, serialization means crushing the set of objects into serial form, and this serial form is appropriate for transmitting the object in the form of message or storage of a set of objects on a particular task, particular disk. We know that object is an instance of class. In Java, it is not necessary to produce a specialized marshalling function to every object involved within a scenario. Java provides a facility known as a reflection. So reflection means the capability of inquiring the properties of a particular class. Java object serialization make the use of reflection facility in order to find out the class name of a particular object, which are to be serialized, and the type, name, and values of its instance variable. Java object serialization make the use of name of a class for creation of a class in a deserialization. So third one is extensible markup language, or this is called as XML. So this XML defined by the W3C. So I do by this W3C. W3C is nothing but the World Wide Web Consortium, right? World Wide Web Consortium. So for arranging the use of web. In XML, primitive data types are textually represented. Generally, XML includes type of information in the form of superficially defined namesets, which are known as a namespaces. In XML, logical structure of data to be communicated is described with the help of tags. This XML provides platform to clients in order to communicate and coordinate with the web services. So human can read this XML document since they are textual. For example, with the help of Java software, we can write a Java object as XML with marshalling, and again we may obtain a Java object from this XML, that is unmarshalling. In addition to remote object reference is used, which act as identifier for a particular remote object in a distributed system scenario. A remote object reference is basically delivered in the invocation message and dedicated for the specification of the object which is to be involved. So next, multicast communication. Multicast means what? What do you mean multicast? There is one process to the group of process. Okay? This is nothing but the multicast. So in reliable multicasting, what do you mean by this reliable multicasting? So reliable multicasting means that message that is sent to a process group should be delivered to each member of that group. So every message should be delivered to each current group member. it is very necessary to make a distinction between the reliable communication in presence of a faulty process and reliable communication when the processes are assumed to operate correctly. In case of reliable communication, in the presence of faulty process and multicasting, it's considered to be reliable when it is guaranteed that non-faulty group members receive the message. So in simplest case, there is no requirement that all group members receive message in same order, but sometimes this feature is needed. So this weaker form of the reliable multicasting is comparatively easy to implement and again subject to the condition, and that number of receivers is restricted. So in multicast message, deliver a useful framework for building a distributed system. So with the help of which there are some characteristics to build this distributed system. There is a fault tolerance, better performance, broadcasting of event notification. So this in fault tolerance on the basis of replicated service is one of the basic feature. So replicated service clusters of servers. Right? So needs of clients are multicast to all members of the particular cluster. Each member execute an identical operations. Even when some of the members fail, clients can still be served. Next, there is better performance. Data are replicated to increase the performance of a service. You can say the better performance is achieved through a replication of a data. Broadcasting of event notification. So multicast to a group may be used for reporting a process when something happens. So for example, new system might report it interested users when a new message has been forwarded on a particular specific news. So we stop here.